Hey YouTube, this is Eddie's Tech Talk, and this is my full review of the Garmin, the Vivoactive 4, but I actually have the Darth Vader Special Edition version of the Vivoactive 4. So I'm going to get into a little bit of what the special features you get with the Darth Vader series is, but for all intents and purposes, most of this video is going to be very similar to what you would see in a Garmin Vivoactive 4 video, because this is just a special version of that watch. It doesn't have any additional fitness tracking, fitness features versus those particular watches. Just some cool touches that I'll go over. So, who would get the Vivoactive 4 or the Darth Vader smartwatch? Well, of course, you'd get the Darth Vader one if you're like me and you're a Star Wars nerd, but you would get a Vivoactive 4 watch. You can see it's pretty thin here. We'll go over the dimensions for a whole host of activities and applications. I use it for running. You can use it for biking, indoor, outdoor, all those sorts of things. Very fitness tracking, very fitness oriented. It's waterproof. You can swim with it. So it does a lot of great features. If you're looking for some more advanced features, you probably know who you are. If you're looking for something more like a Phoenix version watch from Garmin, or a different, higher tier watch from someone else. It's not the best smartwatch in the world. It does have smartwatch features, which I'll go over, but this is really a fitness watch for fitness junkies. Or fitness enthusiasts. I wouldn't call myself a junkie, more of an enthusiast. So let's get into the Darth Vader specific features really quick while we're at it, and then the rest of the video can be mostly a Vivoactive 4 review. So with the Darth Vader watch, which is a little bit more, but I would check with your health insurance if you get a discount, because I did. You get this really cool box here, Star Wars Garmin crossover, Darth Vader Special Edition smartwatch. This is actually there's a watch in this box. Garmin sent me two by accident, but that's what you have on the front of the box. On the side, Star Wars and Garmin, Legacy Saga series. So they have a Legacy Hero series for Marvel. The Saga series, you can get this one, the Darth Vader, which is the Vivoactive 4, or you can get a Ray version, which is the Vivoactive 4S, which is a smaller watch for smaller wrists, primarily targeted towards women. But hey, if you have a small wrist, the 4S might be good for you as well. So just a lot of Legacy Star Wars series, Garmin and Star Wars cross branding. And on the back here, I'll just bring up from the bottom so you don't see too much of the information, because I don't own this watch. Rule the Galaxy. So that's pretty cool. You also get in the box, so this is the Vivoactive 4 band that you're going to get in the box, which I use for most purposes. It's just a silicone band. It works really nice. It's a one-size-fits-all band, but it has a ton of notches in it, so you'll be able to find a size that fits your wrist no problem, or whatever you're attaching it to no problem. And this is just silicone. It's good for sports. It's good for a lot of multi-purpose stuff. But you also get with the Darth Vader version of the watch, you get this band, which is kind of like a leather band. It's at least leather or fake leather on one side. We've got red accenting here also. And then on the back side, you can see it's a little different material here. I don't think it's full leather on the back. I've actually done a couple of workouts in this band just because I had it on and not this band on, and I forgot to switch it. And it does hold up decently well to workouts. It's not the craziest in the world in terms of quality, but it's certainly not bad, and I like that it was included in the box. It looks really sharp with the watch, especially if you're using some of the specific watch faces. So another thing that you get is you get exclusive Star Wars watch faces with these. If we can get the camera to focus here, this is a Vader's TIE Advanced in the background of this watch face, which I think is really, really exciting and really cool. There's also another watch face with the Death Star in the background, and that's a really cool watch face as well. The Darth Vader features don't end with the watch itself and those specific features. You also get different features with the app itself. So things like loading screens, you get the Imperial logo for the loading screen. Like I said, you get those specific watch faces. And then when you meet specific goals, it will show up on the watch as well. So in addition to the physical features, it also says Rule the Galaxy on the back here, and then you have Star Wars Garmin branding. But in addition to the physical features, there are the electronic features through the app, like you saw there with a couple unique touches. And then when you meet your goals through the Darth Vader smartwatch, it will actually give you Star Wars themed thing. So if let's say we meet our hydration goal for the day, you get the Imperial logo flash up. You've got this Stormtrooper. It's telling you that you met your hydration goal, and that's really, really cool. And I don't know, it's just a cool extra motivation piece that I enjoy with this watch. You're not getting this on the Vivoactive 4, the 4S. You're getting a specific Star Wars themed goal, like encouragement notification. When you reach your step goals, when you reach your stair goals, you get other Star Wars themes. So they're not all that stormtrooper. There's a TIE fighter shooting in one of them. There's, going to hyperspace, and it says that you reached a goal. And to me, that's really exciting, and it's just really cool. It's really nice, detail-oriented features that are added into the watch here, something that I really, really enjoy. But now that we're done with the Star Wars specific features, how does this watch perform as a Garmin, a fitness tracker, a smartwatch, a fitness companion, and all that kind of stuff? Well, I would say it performs really well, and I've been really satisfied with my purchase. Now, these aren't super cheap. With my health insurance, and maybe with yours too, a lot of the discounts, it's about $280 thereabouts for the Vivoactive 4, or I believe 4S is the same price now, but these things change all the time. You'll have to check it for yourself. And so that's a pretty expensive price. I believe it's about $300 without health insurance discount there. And so I really held this to a high standard. I wanted this to meet a very high standard of quality, and I really wanted it to enhance my life. The Darth Vader ran about $20 more, or maybe it's $40 more. Worth it to me, though. But in any case, the transflective screen, which was something that I was originally put off of, that's the screen technology that's used here. So it's not like a phone screen. It's not an OLED panel. But it does remain and retain the ability to be always on. You can see that the display is dimmed, but it's always on. It draws low power. Under direct light, you can see that the light is shining. I can still make out that it's 917. That's still visible. When you're in a workout and you're out in the sun, this screen is fantastic. You can see it really clearly. It works in direct sunlight. So that's giving you better battery life, and in my mind, just a better watch, because you're able to look at it at all times and see the time, see your notifications. You don't have to do that twist to wake feature that a lot of other smartwatches and fitness trackers have. The Garmin, I think it's the Venu or the Venue, is essentially this same exact watch with a smartphone type screen, an OLED screen. And while that screen might look better, it gets worse battery life, and in my opinion, it's just not as good of a fitness tracker, not as good of a watch. So starting off, I really like the screen technology, and that impressed me how well it's executed here, because these have a bad rap in my mind for a transflective screen being low resolution also. This is very high resolution. Things are very clear, and they're very fluid. You can see as we transition into menus and into different things, we're able to scroll up and down. Things are fluid. There's no lag here. There's none of that. And then we can go into indoor track mode, and we can see we're starting, we're going. We've got very clear, very readable items on the watch and the watch itself while we're in an activity. This is white. You can have it be in dark black mode also, but I find that this mode is better for direct sunlight. You can also customize the data shown on these, but you can scroll through here if you want to look at a different watch face. Maybe you're really trying to stay in a heart rate zone, and I think it's getting my heart rate through my finger there. And it'll tell you what heart rate zone you're in. You can customize these, like I said, stop, start, those sorts of things, save it, discard it, and all that. And you can see just going through the interface, it's very fluid. This that one. Some of it's swipe, some of it's touch. I'm still trying to figure that out. But really fluid interface. Things work really well. I can go through at a glance and see a lot of information about my day without having to open the app, without having to look at the Garmin Connect app, which I really like. Able to tell a lot of things. Like I said, it has a lot of information. We can even look at some of the history and in a graph form right on the watch. Heart rate graph. It's got in here the body battery, which is essentially like, your phone has a battery and you discharge it and you charge it and things happen. This measures that through your exercise, through your movement, through your stress levels. And it does collect and give me a lot of data. It's got my calendar in there. We got the weather notifications if you get those. And this also does a feature where it will sync with your Spotify library, I think Deezer and Amazon Music, as well as local storage. And so you can, which I really liked, you can put tracks on here, pair your Bluetooth headphones with this, and then not have to run with your phone. That was a must-have feature for me because I don't like running with my phone. I think it just adds too much bulk. I don't want to risk something like my phone, something happening to it. And it works really well. You just play pause, you connect. This is the circle is showing how far through the song I am. You can view your library. It's really easy to set up, really easy to sync over, and that is a stellar feature in my book, and it works well pretty much every time. But something I did want to touch on is the notifications. If you get them, what do they look like? How do these notifications and the options compare to something like an Apple Watch or a traditional smartwatch? Okay guys, so if you get a notification, like a text message in this case, you can dismiss it by swiping down, or if you want to reply, you can swipe up. So this is some of the smartwatch type features. If you really don't want that app to give you notifications, you can block it. You can dismiss the notification, which doesn't just dismiss the notification on the watch, it actually also dismisses the notification on your phone. So when you go check the notifications on your phone later, that'll be gone. And then you can reply. There are some quick canned replies in here. Yes, no, okay, can't talk now, on my way, call you later, what's up, or love you, for, I guess, that special person in your life. So you have these canned sorts of things that you can send out. But this is the extent of the response features of the smartwatch, kind of notification integration features in the Vivoactive 4, the Darth Vader watch here. I actually really like it. I think it's a good minimalist take. I don't want to just be bombarded by stuff on my phone, and some stuff I know I can get back to later, and other stuff, hey, I need to respond to it right now, or I can maybe respond to it on the watch instead of the phone. So I like the notification features of the Garmin Vivoactive 4 or Darth Vader watch. I think it delivers the notifications nice. I can tell exactly what I need to do with the notification. Okay, so now that we've seen everything that the watch can do by itself, what can it do when paired with the Garmin Connect app, which is a must to set it up, of course? Well, you can see your live heart rate. If we go into that, we can see through a graph of the day, see kind of when we woke up and all that stuff, see what our heart rate was throughout the day and track that, which I really like. We can take a look at a previous day here and see what we did. And how that worked out and where the heart rate was and all that stuff. Pretty cool. You can track your steps, look at your goal through the day. There's my Garmin profile. Feel free to follow me. But really detailed. Your floors climbed, your calories left. If you link with like MyFitnessPal to track your food, which I don't. Your intensity minutes. So you're supposed to get about 150 a week, and you can drill down on some of these things. Intensity you can't so much, just because it tracks it a little more passively. However, with a lot of these other things, you're able to drill down if you so choose. Some of it is more graphically formatted, but the data that we're collecting here is great. Your steps every day, your heart rate, it's got the passive tracking, your intensity minutes, which can be passive. They don't have to be recorded within an activity like a run or a bike. The floors you go up and down, which I found has been pretty accurate and very consistent. Like here's your body battery, like I said. So you charge it up when you're doing things like sleeping and resting, when you're going out and you're doing stuff and you're stressed out, right? Your body battery, right? I'm stressed out, my body battery lowers. Some might find this feature a little gimmicky, but I actually think it's fairly useful and a decent representation of what is going on. And I've actually really found the stress feature to be very accurate. And there's good stress and bad stress, of course. So good stress, we've got things like, socializing, being out with friends, going on a workout perhaps, those kinds of things. Whereas, there's bad stress also, right? Anxiety-inducing moments, those sorts of things. So we can scroll back. So this was, I was actually out talking to someone for an extended period of time, and just by doing that, you're moving around, you're doing things, you're more stressed out, your mind's more engaged, right? So we can see that's about when I met up with them was, about 6-7 p.m. about when it says. And it tracks the stress through that time. So the stress tracking is really, really cool. The body battery stuff is really, really cool. And I love that I'm able to go through every day and see, and it'll tell me, hey, here's your stress. And it does really correspond to where I'm at during the day. This is one of the neatest features in my book that I really didn't think would be something I would value or look at often. One of my favorite features about the data that this watch collects. It does calories also, which is really just takes your activities and says, here's how many calories you burned. It does track your sleep. Now, this sleep tracking, I wouldn't say that it's poor, but I don't know that it's the best thing ever either. I think it is pretty good, but a lot of times it thinks I woke up after I woke up. So some days I've had to come in here and I've had to go to the edit and say, I really didn't wake up at 8:54, which is true. I didn't wake up at 8:54. I think I woke up closer to 8:15 today. So then I update that, which then updates how long I slept. 8:15, I think, thereabouts. There we go. We got to hit save. And then that'll adjust that, and then that will adjust things like my body battery. You can see your pulse ox, which, hey, I don't have it on all the time. It drains battery. It's useful to track during exercise and during sleep, so it's got that in there. And then respiration, it tries to track that as well. Can't speak so much for the authenticity of the pulse ox or the respiration. I don't have a ton of ways to track it, but it seems to me, the naked eye, the untrained observer, to be decently good as well. And then you track your own hydration and those things also. So really cool, all the things that it tracks. Let's get into a specific workout here, and I'll show you all the data that it gives you there. Okay, so when we're in the app, I'm not going to show you guys where I am, but it does give you a map of where you ran, which I think is really cool. And it also gives you a ton of statistics here. So it'll give you your average pace of how you went, and this was a trained workout where some of it was walking, some of it was jogging, so the pace is a little slow for me, but your average pace, your average moving pace, your best pace, your speed, timing, average heart rate, running dynamics, so your run cadence it tries to track, elevation it does, and then also your calories burned also. But it has a lot of really cool features. So this is through the Garmin Coach, which I will show you guys, but it's a really cool feature, helps you train for a 5K, which I like. It's not subscription based. You just buy the watch and you get these training plans included for free, which I think is just absolutely stellar. So this is an example of one of those. You have a warm-up, which in my case is a walk or a run, so I just walked it out because this was going to be a long run ahead of me. And then the workout was to split these laps up into contained, more base run type pace. So that is you can see the vibration motor on the watch working for me there. These laps split up in between a 9:33 and a 10:33 pace. It's just about consistency of pace, which I was able to maintain, and it gives me all that stuff here. What's really cool to me is the graphs. So it gives you your pace, minutes per mile. We can drill down on these graphs here. So we can look at any particular moment, what the pace was, and then we can overlay that with other graphs like pace per minute and the heart rate that I'm going at during it. This one I was able to keep fairly consistent just because I was trying to settle into that really good pace. In other runs, it's really cool to see where I'm really starting to struggle, my pace decreases, and you can see with the heart rate, that heart rate graph is going up and that pace graph certainly going down. This one, luckily, I was able to keep it the way it is. But you can overlay it with other things too, like your running cadence. So you can see the times when I was walking or jogging lightly versus the times when I was really running, trying to keep that pace. You can also overlay it with elevation, which is really neat to see also. A lot of times there is a slowdown when I'm going up a hill or something like that. So I think that this data is stellar and how it tracks it. And I would say, again, look, naked observer, I'm not out there with technical equipment, but I think this stuff is pretty accurate. When I'm going up a hill, I can tell and I can see it in the graph afterwards. So that is really cool. I love the graphs. I love seeing it. It can help you improve yourself, improve your run, improve what you're doing. And I really do like this as well. It does let you see your time in particular heart rate zones. So when you're evaluating your workout, where you're straining, and those kinds of things, and when Garmin is doing that for you also, you can see your time in various heart rate zones too. So really cool features there. And I'm excited by the data that it collects. I think it's just really stellar. I love it. And then also it does have something called a Move IQ event. So this is an example of a Move IQ event. Essentially, I went walking around the parking garage at work a couple times for 14-ish minutes, and it tracked my walking, tracked when I started it. So I didn't actually start this event. I was just walking around with the watch on, and it said, hey, we picked that up. We picked up that you were walking around, and we put it in here into your graph. And we can see if we rotate the phone here, this is just a graph of a particular day in the Garmin app. We can see my heart rate actually spiked during that. and we can see that graph overlaid, and that makes sense because I was out walking, so the heart rate was a little bit up, whereas here was that run. We can see the heart rate definitely up, and that one has an icon to notify us that we were working out and in an activity. So really cool passive tracking features and really cool active tracking features on the Vivoactive 4 or the Darth Vader Special Edition watch. So what are my final thoughts on the Darth Vader Special Edition watch? While it does do some things not quite as well, I think the sleep tracking is helpful and good, but I'm not sure how accurate it is. It does track when I wake up. I have woken up in the night a few times, and it has gotten it. So I think that tracking is good, but that's more of maybe a leisurely do that out of your own curiosity. Rather than, a formal test or something using specialized equipment. But I think this is just about as specialized as you're going to get for most other features. I think the heart rate tracking is pretty good. I thought potentially a little bit low, but the more I've worked out and the more I've normalized my heart rate and things like that, I've seen similar levels of stress exert similar heart rate, so it's very consistent. I would say that is decently accurate, about as accurate as a wrist-based heart rate detection can be, outside of course, the Apple Watch, which has the gold standard there. The distance tracking, I think, is very, very accurate also, so it should track your distance workouts pretty accurately, I would say. And like we just saw, the data that it collects is stellar. I think it is just exceptional. I'm happy with my purchase. It's expensive. I mean, like I said, with the health discount, about $279 for the Vivoactive 4, or a little bit more if you want one of the special editions. I love the special edition. I'm glad I spent the extra money, which is rare. Normally, those things are pretty gimmicky, but I love how it incorporates so much Star Wars into every piece of the device, from the hardware to the software. So if you're going to get the special edition, you're a big Star Wars fan, I would say do it. I don't think you would regret it. A coworker picked this one up as well, the Darth Vader edition, and he really likes it. The battery life is something we haven't talked about yet, just because it's such a non-factor. I have to charge this device a really small amount of time. The battery lasts probably, I'd say, between 4 and 6 days, depending on usage. Sometimes less if I'm really working out, really using the GPS and those functions. But I guess I buried the lead here. A battery lasting pretty much the entire work week without having to worry about it and having to plug in the charger here, I think is just exceptional. Apple Watches, people have to charge much more, and typical smartwatches with the OLED screens. And this is it just lasts forever. It's awesome. I can go on multiple workouts. I can sleep with it at night. No problems. I don't have to worry about it dying too much. And it does charge up really, really quick. I mean, you wake up for the morning and it's dead. You plug it in, you shower, you eat breakfast, you get ready for work. That thing will be almost totally charged by the time you're ready to go. So I've got nothing but great things to say about the Vivoactive 4, and I've got nothing but great things to say about the Darth Vader Special Edition watch. What do you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comments section down below. Like I said, if you are seriously into running, you might want a Forerunner series. If you want just a little bit more data than what's provided here, you might want a Phoenix watch if you want more hiking features. But for your average fitness person who likes multi-sports like I do, because I enjoy snow skiing, I enjoy hiking a little bit, I enjoy running, cycling, this is a great multi-purpose watch for pretty much everyone, including myself. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one.